Hello, guys, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Hangar Podcast. Today, we're doing an Air India Flight 171 special. I'm your host, Hunter.
I'm your host, Jacob.
So, Air India Flight 171 was a recent flight about 2-ish weeks ago. A week? Yeah, and it was the first fatal flight on a Boeing 787. And it was a flight from India to the London, right?
Yeah, India to London.
Yeah, and it had an error right after takeoff. It only got up to 600 feet and crashed. Only one person survived out of the 252 people on board. It also killed 39 people on the ground. All of our thoughts are out to the families
Prayers,
of people affected. So, what happened? The flight was delayed but departed around 1:38 p.m. local time. Shortly after takeoff, the aircraft failed to gain altitude and had crashed into the BJ Medical College hostel. The captain reported losing power before the impact. CCTV footage shows the plane descended quickly before a large explosion. And
we could put
we'll put it right here.
Yeah, right there. That's our thing now.
Yeah.
Right there.
And you can see it's quite tragic. Your discretion advised, or whatever. The human cost. Stories of victims, including cabin crew Afran Shrika. Shakira.
Okay. We'll put the name on screen.
Yeah. She was 22 years old. Film producer Mahesh Jarwal, I'll put the name there too, was identified via DNA. Dozens of medical students and hostel residents killed or injured on the ground. The only survivor, Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, a British national, was rescued from the wreckage. He was in seat 11A. Early investigations, the black boxes were quickly recovered. I'll put a picture of the black box right here. And as you can see, it's not black, it's quite bright.
It's pretty damaged too. It was pretty damaged. Yeah. That's why it's being sent to the UK.
For analysis of the evidence and data. Evidence shows that an emergency ram turbine deployed, suggesting loss of engine power. So, what do you think that means? That it probably stalled?
It was probably like falling out of the sky, because it was going up, and then it's like still on that same angle of attack, but it's just going down.
Yeah. When a plane's engines cut out, especially right before takeoff, there is not really anything that it can do because it doesn't have enough speed to continue going up, so all it just does is fall.
So there's a speed you can reach. It's different for all the planes, but it's called a V1 speed. So if you, let's say your engine cuts out and you're not going the V1 speed or higher, you still have time to stop on the runway before you take off. But if you're above that V1 speed, you have to take off and you have to try and go around.
And then V2 speed is the speed that you rotate at, and rotating is when you pull up. So going like this, it'd be V1, V2, that. Right?
Yeah. We could show a video too.
Yeah.
So one will appear right here.
The aircraft's landing gear stayed down and flaps may not have been retracted, possibly affecting lift. No official cause confirmed yet. Engine failure, bird strike, etc. System malfunction. All that is under review to get a deeper understanding of what actually happened that day. The safety and oversight many questions were raised about maintenance records. Air India says both aircraft and engines had a clean history. And 787 are quite new. which, I mean, they're not that new, but
they're new for a plane.
Which means that there could be still some unknown issues which could have resulted in this crash.
I think that might be what caused the crash, actually, because we still don't know what it is. Critics point to DGCA oversight failures, and some senior officials have dismissed that post-crash. This highlights the vulnerability of airports surrounded by dense urban infrastructure. It could also be compared to past Indian aviation incidents and safety culture. Company and government response. Air India CEO Campbell Wilson issued a public letter of condolence and pledged full cooperation. There was also compensation announced for families. Support was also offered by Tata Group and Singapore Airlines. The FAA and the UK's CAA and Boeing are involved in ongoing support and analysis. So here's a reflection in the bigger picture. This was the first ever fatal crash in a Boeing 787 Dreamliner. And this also brings up the broader issues of rapid expansion of air travel in India, pressure on infrastructure and aviation regulators, and it ends with reflection on the human toll and the importance of systemic vigilance in aviation safety.
And for our breaking news update today, it is about a hot air balloon crash in Brazil.
Might have heard of it.
Yeah.
When did this happen? I think it happened before the Iran strikes.
Yeah, it was only a few days ago. But it was, from what I know, it was a large hot air balloon, like carriage, I guess you could say.
It had 21 people, and out of those 21 people, only 13 survived. So we'll put a video like right here.
Yeah, of it falling.
No, you might think, oh my goodness, how did they survive that? And that's the exact same thing I'm thinking. And
because it looks like it's going quite fast now too.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would survive that.
And also it kind of like started tilting too.
Yeah, it did. It was like on an angle.
I wonder what the people were thinking. I mean, you're just holding on to the edge of a nice little hot air balloon ride, and then, look up.
I think what happened was there was some sort of, not a failure, I don't want to say, like maybe malfunction is the right word, but the captain didn't want to go up. I think he accidentally lit, how the fire expands the gas, which lifts up the hot air balloon. That's how hot air balloon works. The heat rises, so.
Do you want to show a diagram of how hot air balloon?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I think the captain was trying to keep it on the ground, but I think it got out of, the people who were holding on the ground, it got out of their grasps and it started floating up. And I think maybe 30 seconds after, it just exploded and fell to the ground.
Yeah. Sorry, this one was slightly shorter for our 12 viewers.
Okay, yeah, so sorry for cutting it short today. Today was a short episode.
We had rushed a little bit, but...
Or maybe this is the normal length of an episode because yesterday was only an introduction one.
But this is quite short, I feel like. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but thank you for watching. Tune in next time, I guess, right? Yeah. Please subscribe and like and comment and do all the Shazammy stuff.
Or don't.
Or please do. But thank you and have a good day.